Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome. I welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have with us Mrs. Usha Krishnan, who has been serving in the industry for more than 2 decades across different types of IT domains. She currently helps honorary basis of women leaders to increase intrinsic motivation, boosting morale, inspiring employee engagement, fostering team spirit, and she strongly believes in the power of individuals to become all they are capable of being. This drives her, and she closely associates on helping them to leverage their strengths individually as well as in teams. So, she has been looking into the transformation of community and transforming the part of the world they touch. He is also an avid runner, cyclist, swimmer. She has completed 2 Olympic distance triathlon, 200 kilometers cycling, and multiple events. He is also prepared for Ironman in 2020. She is an amateur flautist and a music lover. So, with all these great achievements, she has an educational background of Masters in Computer Education from Madras University, Bachelor's of Communication, and certificate in Neuro-Linguistic Program as an executive coach, and certified in transformative map analysis. So with this little introduction, we welcome you, ma'am, Usha ma'am.
Thank you, Ishikani. That was a great introduction, and good morning, all. I know it's been a fantastic Saturday, and first of all, thanks for this opportunity. It's really great to connect with new set of folks, and I see that most of you all from finance background, and I also work for a financial-based IT company close to about a couple of decades now. Okay, so Shivani did mention a little about me, and I wanted to quickly share my screen.
I wanted to add one more point that she has written a wonderful book called Breaking Your Invisible Barriers, and that's what she will be taking us today. We all hold so many limiting beliefs, and let's learn from ma'am how we can overcome our limiting beliefs and break all the invisible barriers that we carry on our heads. So, welcome, ma'am.
Sure, Shivani. Thank you. So let me quickly share my screen and let me know if you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see? Okay.
Visible.
So this is not a one-way monologue. So I would really want you all to be, participating with me. Before I get into this breaking invisible barriers, I just wanted to quickly share a little about me on what made me think breaking invisible barriers is super important. So like Shivani mentioned, I certainly have little feathers on my hat, and it did not come just like that. And there was a lot of effort to it. And when I had to take you all about 20 years back to let you know that what was the state of my ability to grasp things. So I was a very, very average student way back in school, and I had a lot of struggle in communicating in English. So that was my first invisible barrier, if I have to put it. I couldn't talk in English. I couldn't be properly using the grammar. So my English teacher used to call me whenever she comes to my class and she picks me. I thought she likes me, but then it was not. It was the other way around. She thought I'm the most least ability student. So that's why she picked me in the class whenever she came, and she made me come and write on the blackboard. And I made so many mistakes. But then she said, if you really like me and if you want me to talk to you, you have to start communicating in English. So that was my first task given. That I remember. Possibly even before my 10th grade, there would have been law. But then in the 10th grade, that's the first task which was given. Because I liked her, I liked the way she taught. So I tried to speak in English. And today, because of that continuous effort, I'm here today in multiple forums. I've been able to communicate very well. And sometimes people give me some applause saying that your speech was excellent and all that. So when I look back and say, what did I do? So three things came to my mind. First is to understand what was my problem, and then be aware of it, acknowledge that I have a problem, and then take an action. I think these three simple ways changed my life. This, especially on the English communication, I did it without much of a maturity, but whatever you see here is all a conscious decision. 200-kilometer cycling, I was super stout, and I did not have agility, or I did not have endurance, and I was made a lot of fun. I took it as a challenge. It did not happen within days. It took some months, it took some years, but I was able to complete. Same in terms of people management. I'm talking both personal, health, and professional. So it's not limited to one particular area. So I was not at all a good people manager way back. And I didn't know how to talk to people. I couldn't understand the emotions of people. And I was like super aggressive, and I'm a taskmaster. I give a work, I ask them to work, I take the work, and I never had empathy, right? So end of the day, why are you coming for work? It's all for money, right? You need money and the organization is paying. Okay, do the work, take the money and walk off. So that was my thought process for a few years in the initial part of my career. But then later I understood that people are bundled with emotions, right? And it's not just like a computer machine where you can give an instruction and they give an output. So that was a super thought which was ingrained in me, and I started working on my people management skills. And in that process, I developed a lot of my skills, and I improved on my competency. I improved on my way of thinking. And whatever that book that Shivani was mentioning, Break Your Invisible Barriers, is an outcome of my life on what did I learn and how not to stress yourself, make your life a little more easy. That process, you make everybody else also happy and successful. So that's where I am. And lastly, I'm also a flautist, and I don't know music. I never learned from my childhood, and it was just a trigger that happened about 4 years back. And somebody said that no, it's not possible, and that especially I'm above the middle age. So people said that no, what are you doing? Why are you going and learning and all that? Then I took it as a challenge, and today I have a YouTube channel, and I've been able to post fairly okay videos in terms of music, which I feel is a something that I've been able to overcome the challenge. So this is a little background about me. I think this gives me a little much more credential to talk about why breaking your invisible barriers is important. And first of all, realize that we have invisible barriers. Now, let me pause here. And I want to ask this question. I know some of my slides are visible, but still, I want to ask you that if you don't have your paper and pen, please go ahead and quickly grab it. Or you can open up your notepad, whichever device that you're using. Please write down, in your opinion, what are the invisible barriers? So a physical barrier is something that's physically present, and that's not allowing you to move forward. Now, what is this invisible barrier that I'm referring to? I'm going to stop sharing and ask you this question. What is this invisible barrier that's stopping you? Possibly, what could be that? You can also open up, unmute yourself and say, and you can also write it.
We can use chat box.
Yeah. I've even heard this term of invisible barriers. Mental negative thoughts. Thanks. What are the things? Limiting beliefs. Somebody said myself. Overthinking, yeah. I'll give you another couple of seconds, please.
What will people say?
Sorry, say that again.
As Shivani also writes in many of her write-ups, log kya kahenge?
Okay.
That is what will people say, like, if I go ahead, people are going to say a lot of things. So, people, that becomes a barrier. People don't go ahead.
Judging. What you're saying is judging. What will the other people think of me?
Yeah, judging.
Procrastination.
Fear of change or fear of failure.
Okay, that's interesting. I think you all now know what is invisible barrier. Now, who can change that invisible barrier? If I give you a magic wand, you swipe thrice this side or this side, do you think it will change? It's not going to change, right? So it has to be somebody who has to come and change it for you. Now, we always have this fear of what will happen if I go ahead and move out of your comfort zone. Everything is going well. Why do I have to change something? Now, why should you have to change something? If you want to change the world, it has to start with yourself first. Everybody knows this, right? Okay, this is very common. And unless otherwise I don't change, I can't change anybody else, right? And the change has to happen within me. And the second thing that I wanted to mention is if you cannot change what's going on around you until you start changing what's going within you. So today there's one common disease that everybody goes to the doctor. You go to a doctor, they always say that, oh, you have this problem, you have to cut down this, you have to do this. So the stress factor, nobody knows what is a stress, but then it's a very common thing the doctor says, no, reduce your stress. You go to any doctor, the first thing they'll say is only that. So where does this come from? So our heart and mind is like a command center, right? You have the ability to allow what you wanted to hear and listen, which we all do. All I'm saying is do it a little consciously. If Shivani is going to come and say, oh, Usha, you look very nice and all good things. Okay, my gate opens. Oh, go inside, right? But the moment she says, no, Usha, this is not good, my gate closes. Oh, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to spoil my mind, putting some garbages into my mind. So I think that is what is you have to be consciously practicing, and that's what it's going on here. Until you start changing what's going on with you. And if somebody is going to come and hurt you, you allow them to hurt yourself, it's your problem, it's not their problem. Right? It sounds very easy and simple, as I say, but it's not that simple and easy. All of us know here. All right, let me move on to the next one. So what are we going to look at here? Given the fact that we have 1 hour, we'll look at what is invisible barrier and the power of mindset. And I can possibly give you a couple of exercises which will open up some of your antennas in your mind and to see your life with a different lens. And then it requires the similar level of practice. And if you're able to use a lens with your growth mindset, I think you will get multiple answers from the environment that we are living in. All right, we saw this about what are the invisible barriers. Let me pause here and please go ahead and ask your questions if you have anything before I get into a little more deeper into this topic. Okay, if no questions, then please pick up a paper and pen and kindly write down in your life today, possibly in the last 1 year, what are your invisible barriers that is stopping you to do something? If I were to write, I would say that I have this nervousness whenever I get onto the stage to talk in front of a crowd. That's number one invisible barrier. And the second barrier, possibly I would write it as, will I have a communication flow correctly? That would be my second one. And the third one is my weight management. I'm just making it up, right? So my weight management. Okay, am I looking ugly, or am I looking physically presentable? Am I able to influence people? So something like that, you can write your own invisible barriers. What is that stopping you from moving forward? It can be anything, you don't need to share it with me unless otherwise you're comfortable. This is for your reference. Please go ahead and write at least about 4 or 5. And give me a thumbs up once you're done. Done? I'll give you one more or possibly 2 more seconds to read through what you have written. This is for yourself to understand who are you, what triggers you, and what makes you upset, what makes you feel uncomfortable. These are your invisible barriers. Even if you had written about 2 or 3. Wonderful. So Narendra said the raising of hands is to say that you're completed, or you have a question.
Yeah, both things. Firstly, I would like some help. The chat box is not opening for me. Whether it's not opening for everyone, or there is some other.
I'm just sending a message.
I hope the chat box is working.
Yeah, it's working.
It's working for everyone. So maybe some error at my end. Secondly, as far as this thing are concerned, the barriers, I would like to share the 3 or 4 which I have written.
Yes, please.
One is the first is too many choices. One may be very conscious, and one that he can do it, and he has that skill or maybe knowledge, but when one starts with one point, normally the other one starts worrying him or her that why didn't I try the other one, and then the other one. So many choices are available with him. So that is one thing which I also encounter. The other one is the thirst of perfection at the start. Many people, they search for perfection and then they will start. So that becomes a barrier. I would like to quote Shivani once again. She always keeps saying that when you start, it's you are not good. It's the worst stage where you start. But then when you have to reach the 100th step, you have to start once. So that is one barrier, to think that I should be perfect at the start. Then maybe the equipment, one does not have the latest equipment. Example we can take of YouTube videos, or people are making such fine videos. So many it becomes a barrier for many who think that I don't have the best equipment. So how will I look, or how will my videos look? That's an example I'm giving of YouTube videos. It can happen with other things also. So that becomes a barrier at times. Although many of the best YouTubers keep saying that when they started with the very basic equipment, but it becomes a barrier definitely. And then people of my age, when they become advanced age, so there is a fear that, whether I'll be now acceptable. I see young people being accepted more. So that becomes a barrier. So these are the 3-4 points I just wanted to share.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. I think I would wonder that you really have a barrier because you've been able to come and share your invisible barrier in a forum. I think what it needs is a bit of more clarity and a validation. So if you have not written a validation as your invisible barrier, kindly be aware that validation is the most powerful invisible barrier. What do I mean by validation? Let's take a woman cooking. She'll be great in cooking, but she would look for somebody to validate her work. Someone has to taste the food and say, oh yeah, it is awesome. It is very nice. The aroma is very good. Then she becomes comfortable. Oh yes, my cooking is very good. But she already knew her cooking is very nice. Similarly, you all be knowing that you have the extra competency, talent, skill, but then you would need someone to come and say, yes, you have this. So the moment someone says you have this, then it kind of gets into your mind, okay, maybe I'm really having this talent. And if someone else comes and says, no, you're not good at this, then immediately that also goes as a negative validation saying, oh, this person is coming and saying I'm not good in this. Possibly I'm really not good in that. So now who has to give you the validation is something that you may have to decide, which we will possibly go through in one of the exercises that I'm going to give. And thank you for sharing that. So let me go back to my screen. So these are the invisible barriers. I'm not going to read through all this. I'll go ahead and share it with Shivani, and she can in turn share it with you all. It's all about your subconscious mind. The message and the comment that you're giving to your mind is becoming your invisible barriers. If you go ahead and say, I'm healthy and happy, and then your mind is going to consider, okay, I'm healthy and happy. If you're going to say that I'm extremely upset and very, very stressed out, and the mind is going to take that. Let me give you another example of when I was working in an organization, it had 8 floors. This example I give to my kids always. And when I entered the ground floor, somebody said that you look very awesome and you look nice and you look very healthy, happy, smiling and all that. By the time I reached to the 8th floor, I'm sorry. By the time I reached to the 8th floor, I had multiple comments. Somebody said that I'm looking very stressed. Somebody said that I'm very looking tired. And someone said that I'm looking good. So it's all their opinion. It's not how I look. The lens that the other person uses to provide a comment is being given as a comment to me. And how I take that comment depends purely on myself. And I have to train myself on accepting what comment I should accept and what comment I have to filter it out. That comes by practice. And there are multiple tools that you can write it down and give clarity to your mind. So your mind will help to filter the comments and give you only which is important to you, which you are allowing it to go inside. So moving on to the next, this exercise I want you all to do. Please pick up your paper and a pen and write down your name on the top. That's very important, and possibly the date also. This we call it as a self-esteem exercise. For your comfortable, I've just given what you may have to write. You have to write, what is that I'm good at? So I arrived through this exercise, I arrived my introduction page. What am I good at? It's not about what others are saying you're good at. What do you think? Whether it maybe you might have just started walking, right? But still you're walking. So you're good in doing your exercise, even if it is for 5 minutes or 7 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is. If you're getting up early, you can say, I'm good in getting up. How does it benefit? Let's not get into that. You just write, what are you good at?
Ma'am, can you make it a full screen?
Oh, yeah,
Slide
sure,
share.
Yeah. Do you see it now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. So you can write, what am I something good at? And the next, for what people compliment you. So I'll give you an example. In my case, people come and say that you're very good in listening. You listen to people and we feel very comfortable talking to you. And listening is also a skill. Please don't underestimate that. Not everybody can listen. And another example they give is you're very consistent. So somebody that giving you a compliment. And the third is something that you're proud of. I'm proud of changing people's life, transforming them, and helping people to achieve their success. And I'm proud of being an example to my kids, being very consistent. And I'm proud of taking care of myself from all the harmful things around me. So it can be anything that you feel that you're proud of yourself. And the next is about something that you enjoy. I love to sleep in the afternoon. I need that 1 hour nap whenever I'm at home, irrespective of daytime, holiday, working day. When I get an opportunity, when I'm at home, I love to sleep for about 1 hour or even 30 minutes, whatever the time that I get. So all these examples, I'm just giving you to explore yourself. And the last is something makes you unique. So each of us have something really unique to yourself. Write down that. To me, I love to take up challenges. I find it very, very difficult to sit bored. So I keep exploring things. That's my unique nature. I'm also like, I don't mind talking to people, and I feel that everybody has got something to teach you. I'm going to pause sharing and let's quickly discuss on that. Now, please take few seconds to read through what you have written. And take your right hand and pat on your back for all your good things that you've been doing, for all the competency skills that you have gained over the years. And if you have a mirror around you, or if you have your phone with you, or if you have an access to the camera, look at yourself in the video and say, I love you so much and you're being so good. Please let me know once you have done. And if anyone is interested in...
Sir, are you there? Sir, are you there? She's already. Yes, sir. Somebody was.
Yes, I did.
Okay, is anyone is willing to share? You don't need to share what you have written, but you can share how did you felt.
Madam, what was the last point?
Something that makes you unique.
I can share a few, but I don't like to be the only one speaking today.
Anyone else I see, got more clarity. Yeah. Felt different. So this, to me, when I first wrote this, I thought, wow, do I have so many things in me? And why am I feeling so bad about myself? Did anybody felt that way? You can give a thumbs up if that's what it is.
Yeah, that is true that making this list definitely, did one really ponders that there was nothing less in, I mean, everyone is unique in himself, and there are so many things one can be proud of, in life. So that making a list definitely, gives a consciousness about that.
Thank you, sir. There's a lot of connection between the science and the emotions. These are interdependent. We all have heard about this, right? Some people believe in the Almighty. Some people believe in the science. And if both comes together, I think it will help you to understand yourself better. And the moment you understand yourself, then the life becomes easy, and that's when the miracle happens. I'm not getting into any religion. I'm not getting into science also, but we all in common agree there's something which a power is there beyond our, the physical eyes, right? And there's something that will happen. For example, let me make it a little bit more clear. When you dream in the night, and assuming you're falling off from a cliff, your body immediately jerks and you get up. What does it mean? The brain cannot differentiate between what is an imagination and what is a reality. That's why it's commonly called as fake it until you make it. And that's the same concept that if you consciously start using, you can start changing your life. The whole concept is, rather than feeling stressful, what can you do about it? I'll give you a great exercise before I end up this meeting sometime later. And that you can use it for any situation, whether it is a personal problem, professional problem, health problem, whatever it is, it's all in your mindset on what lens you wanted to see. And the moment you change your lens, then you will be able to see broader things. You'll be able to make your mind broad, look at different perspectives, and take the right decision. The mind all needs is a bit of a clarity. I was listening to one of the shows, and it was very beautifully said. As a human being, what is the purpose of a human being? To communicate. That's all. Look back, no? All you need is communication. If you're able to communicate very well to the other person, if the person is able to understand what you're trying to communicate, that's all is our life. And if the same thing happens within your mind, and life is going to change for you all. So let me share my screen again. All right, so I want to touch a little bit on this limbic system. So we all know about it. You must have seen in multiple things what is a limbic system. So I don't want to get into all that. I wanted to only talk about primarily, first of all, everything happens here. All your emotions are being regulated in your limbic system, and it goes and refers your limbic system for whatever the decisions that you take in your life. It's like a library. Whenever somebody comes and talks to you, and do you have to fear of him or you have to trust him? The limbic system decides. And there are a lot of parts to the limbic system, and let's not get into that. I wanted to touch on two main things, which is the hippocampus and amygdala. Here is where the fear and risk assessment happens. Why do you get fear? What happens the moment you get fear? There are reflexes, right? Either you get run away from that place, or you start using foul languages, or you freeze, you don't know what to do, and then you kind of let go of everything. So now when you know what are your triggers, again, you have to write it down. What is my fear? When do I get anxiety and fear? When somebody makes comments about me, or does somebody criticizes me, or somebody shouts at me, or does some shock comes, like when you're walking and suddenly some car goes off, you kind of freeze, which happens. Can we control all these reflexes? No, we can't. It's very natural, and I'll be very fault in saying that when I say that, no, you should learn to control your emotions. No, we cannot, but there is a choice that you can make to yourself when you are aware of your fear. Where should I express and when should I express and how should I have to react? Rather than asking, why am I getting this? What can I do about it? So that's a big change. If you're able to do it, then you only be able to address the problem and not the person. Why is this happening to me? Why am I not able to do this? Why only me? Move that from what can I do to handle this? What can I do to get out of this? So I wanted to pick up Narendra sir. I want to pick up your example of will I be accepted by the youngsters at this stage? So what should I have to? You're asking, will I be? You can move to what can I do for people to accept me? So then it becomes more action oriented rather than pointing to yourself and start feeling, oh, I've become old and I'm not able to do. Will people be able to accept me? It's not about the person, it's about the problem. So move from person to problem is what is the message that I wanted to give here. And if you're able to assess your fear, assess what is the risk associated with that, then it becomes easy. And the exercise for that is why to walk. Maybe after this meeting, you can go back and write the why question, right? Why is this happening to me? Why am I not being able to be successful? Why am I feeling very fearful? Why do I get anxiety? You can write all the why questions you have in your mind and write an equivalent what question. What can I do to get out of this fear? Then you'll get an action. Your brain will open up a lot of things and it will start saying, okay, do this, do this, do this. Whether it is right or wrong, that's a different question. You're making an attempt to move out of the current state to a different state. So that way you're helping your brain and your mind to think a lot more opportunities and options that you're feeding in. And the next is memory and learning. Continue to help your brain to grow. Like we go to the gym and we do a lot of exercise to build the muscle mass and we take care of ourselves. I'm hoping that we eat good food and all that. Now, what do you do for your memory and learning? So do something instead of looking at the reels and I don't know if you're doing it, but if you instead of being in the social media, try to learn at least one thing consciously every day. It can be very simple. Even in the social media, if you're going to listen to a few seconds learning, and if that's something that you like it, make a note of it. But get into the practice of writing. I know I'm going a little traditional way. Everything has become virtual. Everybody is on the system. They make a note of it. The computer suggests something. If you wanted to change your life, if you want to change your mind, it has to be a paper and a pen where there is no way the computer will help you to autocorrect your mind or will help you to suggest something. You don't need suggestion. You need your validation within yourself. Let me pause here. Any questions, please? Do you think whatever I'm saying is possible, practically doable?
100%, ma'am.
Shivani?
Yeah, 100%.
So the question is, are we willing to do? Now, who can change your
Nishi, you wish to speak?
I am audible.
Yeah, audible.
Yeah. Ma'am, actually, is it doable or possible? But the reason की consistency we can't follow. मतलब मैंने जैसे आज आपने बोला कि what is my fear? तो मैंने note कर लिया. I know what is the solution. कि I need to the training. I need to follow some mentor. So I am doing, but not a consistency. So due to we are not getting the outcome or the result. So this is the challenge.
So, okay, why? Let me now go to a different question to you, Umesh. What will help you to bring that consistency? You know the problem.
yeah, I know problem, but actually suppose I am working, तो आज यार ऑफिस में 2 घंटे ज्यादा रुकना पड़ेगा.
Okay,
Sometime I have the some
Umesh,
working.
I don't understand Hindi. If you could comfortably
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, sure. If suppose the challenge is कि, because I am involved in the financial closing and this type of things, so कि management say यार today you have to complete this work, then I am delay in the office hours. I am working delay it in office. Then I reach at home at delay. Then some pending work at home which I need to complete. So lot of things is going around. So
Okay.
this is the challenge. But yeah, it's a manageable. But I sometimes we are trying, but 5 to 7 days I am following. But then again delay. Then I left.
Okay, so break it down. See, like, okay, I'll put it this way. If I wanted to say reduce weight is a very common example. Forget that. So if I wanted to learn a new skill and I'm setting a timeline of 3 months. Now I'm not able to complete it in 3 months. Now what do I
Yeah.
do? Give it more time, no 6 months. Rather than not doing in slower pace is also good.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
May
So
I add one point here?
go ahead.
So, Umesh, we have to figure out if we want to achieve something, we have to forego doing something that we were doing and we don't want. So, first figure out what you will stop if you want to achieve something. Then
Yeah.
only you will get that particular time. We cannot do everything, and neither we should try.
Got it.
So, we need to figure out what we have to cut down, what we have to stop doing. So we need to prioritize our priorities. And
Yeah.
when our vision is fixed, when our why is clear, what we need to do, then definitely you'll make a way how to do that. Suppose if you are having an exam and you have to appear for that exam, and no matter whatever office work or whatever comes in between, you have a scheduled exam, you have a vision that or a particular outcome you want to achieve, you will definitely study and you will definitely crack the exam despite of whatever comes in your way.
Yeah.
So
So
this is the spirit we need to follow in everything that we want to achieve.
yeah. So I again try. Okay, thank you.
Never,
Don't
don't
stress
say
yourself.
try, you have to make
Umesh,
it happen.
Umesh, don't stress yourself. This we are not here to stress ourselves. I'll give you a simple tip. What to adding to what Shivani said. Just from possibly from tomorrow or even from today,
Yeah.
right from 6 o'clock to the whole 24 hours. We all have only 24 hours. I'm
Yeah.
also busy. Shivani is also super busy. All the folks here in this call have something other, and they are busy.
Yeah.
Now, write down right from the morning throughout the evening. Be very genuine to yourself. What are you doing every hour? It's an effort, right? You just pick up your phone. There are multiple apps now available to track. Just write down what did you do. See, today morning I wrote. I got up around 5:30. I was mentally getting prepared for this meeting, and I got into the meeting at 7 o'clock. 7 to 8, I was in a meeting. Now keep on writing. 8 o'clock, what is that? After finishing, don't judge, don't say what you're doing is wrong. If you're watching, if you're in social media, it's okay. Just for next 1 week, just write down what are all you're doing. Don't do any changes in your life. If you put a pressure, you can't handle the pressure for a long time. If you keep on saying, oh, I have to improve myself, you will never.
Yes.
Automatically from your mind, you should enjoy what you're doing. So first of all, understand yourself on what is that, where is your time that you're spending. So don't say, oh, I'm in the first couple of days you have written and you're in social media for about 3 hours, or you're listening to song for 3 hours. Oh my God, what am I doing? I have to change that immediately. No, it's okay. Just be aware. Okay, I'm spending 2 hours in social media. Okay, interesting. Right? Just make a note of it for 1 week. Then you will know, okay, as a person on an average in a week, I'm spending 14 hours on social media. Then clicks. Oh, can I reduce it from 14 hours to say 10 hours? 10 hours I'll be in social media. 4 hours I'll take out of that 1 week. You're only taking less amount. And then the following week, okay, now I've appreciated myself with 10 hours in social media. I'll reduce further 2 hours. I'll only stick to 8 hours in a week, which means every day, slightly above 1 hour is allowed in social media. So do the change very slowly. If you suddenly change, you will not be consistent to follow. That's where the problem comes. I am reading some of the messages here. I must follow this. I need to do this. Remove all that from your dictionary. Nobody is forcing you. It is only you are forcing yourself. Right? So you say that I enjoy doing this and I want to do this. And there is no must. There is no a forceful law here. If you don't do it, nobody is going to come and punish you. You only start feeling guilty about it. Right? So please remove all the words of must, need to, I have to. You say that, okay, let me start writing down where am I spending the time. And you happily do it. You're wasting it. You think you're wasting your time. It's okay, no problem. It's an awareness about yourself. And then you take action. And then, okay, there's something called AAA. I told in the beginning of the call. First of all is awareness. Be aware of yourself. That's the first change. You don't need to do any other change. Be aware of who are you? Where are you spending time? Why are you getting angry? What makes you upset? What makes you cry? What are your emotions? How do you react when a situation comes? Just observe. So now you can ask, when I'm angry, how will I observe? It's okay. When you sleep, when you go to the sleep, just before the sleep, spend about 5 minutes. I'm sure all of us don't get sleep the moment we go and lie down on the bed, right? Just take that few seconds and run through what happened from morning throughout the night. And you will get stuck in one particular thing, which will disturb your mind. Why did I even behave like that in that situation? So maybe this person told me this and it triggered my mind. So there are some trigger words that will hurt you, right? So you think about it and say what I could have done differently to handle that. And your mind will give you answer. You don't need anybody else. My concept is be your coach. Okay, you are the best coach for yourself if you step out of your role as a person and think like a fly on the wall. And you don't need to criticize. You just observe. Introspect. I'm reading somebody introspect. And I'm not even using that heavy word. Just observe and understand how you're behaving in certain situations. What is your reaction in certain places? How are you taking the appreciation to yourself? You know, in today's world, we don't even accept the appreciation comfortably. Right? Why? Because we doubt ourselves. Oh, am I eligible for this appreciation? Why? So you're not happy when somebody gives you a good comment. You're not happy when somebody gives you a bad comment. So what are you happy for? So that's a question you have to ask yourself, right? So the answer comes from your mind. And when you step back and say, okay, this is how I behave. Okay, then don't go into why did I behave like that? No, what made me behave like that? So possibly Shivani used this word that triggered me. So now how do I communicate it to Shivani? Shivani, better you don't use this word. That upsets me. So your answers will come. Maybe next time when you talk to her very nicely, you can say, you know what, Shivani, the other day we were talking and you said something like this, and may I understand what made you make that comment? And she will have her own explanation, right? And if it is acceptable, you acknowledge and move on. If it is not acceptable, you can say that, listen, I think I'm not very comfortable with that, and let's stop it. Let's agree to disagree. That's a transaction. Leave the transaction and move on in life.
Yeah.
Got it, Ramesh?
Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. All the best. And through Shivani, I think I'll get to understand if you're able to follow this consistently. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm conscious of the time, and I wanted to leave you all with one exercise, which is a very famous exercise. If you're aware of it, very well. If not, start following this. It's called SBI, Situation, Behavior, and Impact. This is a beautiful tool, very widely used to change anything that you want to change in your life. Say, I'm a strong believer of using tools, right? You can think of 100 things in your mind, but when you put it in writing, is where the struggle comes, right? The speed of the mind thinks you can't put it on writing. So when you write, you get the clarity. So always carry a notebook with you and write down whatever comes to your mind before taking any decision. Now, situation, behavior, impact. You have a situation that's not in your control, you can't change. Situation happens, right? Behavior is in your control. Because behavior is in your control, you can choose what the impact you are looking for. So let's say in a situation, I'm having a fight with my husband, right? And some ethical challenges. So that's a situation. I'm taking a very complex problem, right? So now what's my behavior? Then I can look at the impact. What impact I wanted to create? Do I wanted to break the relationship? Or do I wanted to continue the relationship? Or do I wanted to solve the problem so that the family doesn't break? Then I can continue to write at least 5 or 6. Do I want to continue to live the relationship with my hurt in my mind? Or do I wanted to have a discussion with them and create a lot more issues? So whatever the impact I wanted to write it on the right side. So situation, and then you write the impact. Now you choose your behavior. Now you wanted to break it, go scream at him, make his life miserable. Then you go shatter the family, done. Or you want to solve this. At the same time, make sure that he made a mistake. Then have a conversation. So based on the impact, you choose the behavior. How does that sound?
Wonderful technique.
Wonderful technique. Can you give one more example of the same?
Sure, I can give. I'm just thinking. You give me a topic, because I'm talking my thoughts. So you can give me a situation. I'll tell you.
Child is child is having a kind of a wish with a child is hesitating of doing studies, but that study part is necessary. Then how to handle it?
Okay. So now the situation is the kid is not studying, and the impact. What is it you want? You want the kid to be in the take 100 out of 100. You want the kid to get stressed out, and you want to make this kid's life miserable by forcing him to study, or you want the kid to enjoy the study.
Enjoy the study.
So then what should be your behavior? You have to help him so that he does not hate to study. At the same time, he need to understand. So you need to have a conversation with the kid. You can be playful with the kid and help him understand how education is very important. You can quote some example. See, the problem with the kids itself, handling kids itself is super big, separate topic altogether, right? Sometimes what we do is whatever that we are not able to do, we force it on the kid. I'll tell you something which is possibly but I'm opening up your mind. Education alone will not make the kid successful in life. In today's world, coaching is the new job that's scaling up. Why? Because we are not able to handle ourselves. So help your kid to handle yourself. When they fail, how to recover fast. I always give this boxing example. It's not about how many knocks you're getting, how successful you are. It's about when somebody knocks you out, how fast you're getting up. There's a 10 count, right? In the 10 count, you have 10 counts to get up. If you don't get up after the 10 count is when you're declared as you're a failure or you've lost the game. I can get up in 5 counts. Shivani can get up in 2 counts. You can possibly get up in 1 count, or somebody can get up in 9 counts. But the point is you have to get up. And please help the kids to learn about the importance of getting up. So he may not be doing it right now, but then help him to understand the importance of education, for which you may have to have a conversation. Taking a stick and beating is not going to help at all. Did I answer you, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I think I've given you a number of exercises. One is AAA, SBI, why to what. What other things I gave? These are great tools. I personally used it. And I've also have my book. I've given a number of exercises in the book, Breaking Invisible Barriers, which is available in Amazon. And each of the book has got, each of the chapter talks about self-management and managing people and managing situations. If you're able to do this three, your life is going to be beautiful. And we are all not monks, right? AAA is be aware, acknowledge, and take action. So first of all, you have to be aware, and then acknowledge. See, some people don't acknowledge they have a problem. They just say that, I'm all right. I don't have any issues at all. Unless otherwise you acknowledge, you won't be able to do the action or take the action. SBI is a situation, behavior, and impact. Situation you can't change, but based on your behavior, you can decide what is the impact that you can create. I'll give you, men, please don't get upset with, but I'm going to give this example. Whenever the weekend comes, men wants to go to meet friends. And what is the trigger they use on women is the moment they say that I want to go and meet friends, and the women will start, shouting, screaming and all that. And then finally they fight. And what happens? Either the women gets into the room, starts crying, men happily goes and meets the friends and enjoy the party, or the women doesn't talk for a couple of days, or even more happy, okay, trouble with no trouble for me, and they are happily enjoy those 2 days. Now, for women, please understand this is the trigger. Okay, they trigger you so that you can get into the room and lock yourself. Don't do that. Have a conversation. Now, what is a situation? The men going out for a party on a weekend, and what is the outcome you want? Is you want them to stay back. Now, have a conversation. Does this example resonates?
Yeah.
100%, ma'am. The tools and techniques are really wonderful.
Yeah, so you have to help yourself by writing it down. That's why I said always a pen and a paper is super important. Whenever I get very confused, I'll tell you a couple of things more. The very, very simple stuff that you can use. Whenever I get super confused, I write it down. What is it I want from the situation? Right? So I always buy time. When somebody's, I'm not talking about a street fight, when somebody comes and bumps on my car, and I get down and start writing what I wanted to behave, how I wanted to behave. No, it's not about that, right? There, possibly I look at the damage. There's no point in screaming also. If I have an insurance, I look at the other person also. If the person is looking decent to have a conversation, I converse. If it's not worth it, I don't stress myself. I'll handle the expenses. So I'm talking about something that you can go through it, take a note of it. Like if it's your boss or your wife or whatever it is. Till some point, you need a paper and a pen, and then your brain is trained to do it automatically, right? Whenever something happens, your brain will only think like this. Okay, this is how I have to think. So you can start making a note, and you can start training yourself. It's not going to happen in one night. Please mind yourself, because you are changing a behavior. And even I won't even call it as a behavior. Even a behavior takes anywhere between 45 to 60 days. And you're changing your belief system, you're changing your mind. It's going to take some time. So make a note. You don't need to show this to anybody. This is your secret diary. Make it and keep it with yourself. All right. One things that from my conversation, move from either this or that. Yes. Look at options. See, end of the day, what are your principles? I will never allow others to hurt myself. I will never allow someone to come and give a stress to me. I will never allow others to decide my emotion, when I should be happy, when I should cry. Who's that other person to decide? I have to choose to smile and laugh and cry. So it's me who has to decide, not somebody else. You can practice. You'll laugh at me when I say this. You can practice that looking at a comedy show. Just put the comedy show on and don't laugh at the jokes. And look at the emotional crying scene in the television and don't cry for that. All right, Shivani, I'm pausing here. I think Shivani is frozen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm here. Audible?
Yes.
Okay. So you were flawless, ma'am, and wonderful techniques you shared. So we can even on audience demand, we can keep a session later also with you to learn
Sure.
more from your wisdom. So this is the basic perspective of bringing in different speakers, that we gain different knowledge and know the new techniques that are prevalent in the industry, and take maximum benefit out of it. Taking action only will bring positive changes in our lives, and learning from great mentors, speakers definitely will help all of us. So if there is particular question any one of you would like to ask, we can go ahead. Otherwise, we would like to close. Any specific question?
Yeah, I have a question, like for decision making, what tools we should use?
For decision making, it's the same SBI. What is the situation you can write? Say SBI is a universal tool. You can use it for anything. Say I'm shifting my house. So the situation is I'm shifting my house. So what is the impact you wanted to create? So the impact is possibly less rent, more space, more greens around my home, good neighbors, right? It should be reachable, or the bus stand should be reachable, or the railway station should be reachable, right? And a little more airy, and ventilation should be there. Sunlight should come inside. So what is the situation you can do? You can go ahead and look at the house and see how it is, or continue to see unless you get it. The behavior, I'm saying, sorry. Continue to look at how the house is. Have a conversation with the house owner. See if you're comfortable with them. That's for simple like changing a house. And if it's a job, same thing works. So I want to go to a new job. So the impact for me is I need work from home at least for X number of days. Then the culture of the organization should be good. I should get a good package. It shouldn't be too much of distance from my home if I have to go to office, right? The office environment should be really good. I should enjoy my work. So you can write all these impacts and then the behavior. So then it's your choice to decide whether you want to accept for more opportunities. So the SBI can be very widely used across to give a clarity. Then you take your decision.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Shivani, can I
So,
also share the book details here?
Actually, there is low Tamraji. Can you mute yourself? There is some background noise. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I muted. I thought she's talking. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Can I share the book details here, please?
Yeah, you can drop the Amazon link over here. So if anyone is interested, they can go through.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, any other specific question anyone has? This SBI technique we learn as an outcome orientation. So where we decide what outcome we look forward to achieve and how we will make it happen. So it's quite similar to SBI, but a different concept we learned today. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing these good techniques. And in case you can share your PPT with me, I'll share in the group.
Yeah, I just put the link. Kalyan Kumar, sir, I think my book is a collection of these simple exercises for each of the situation. So you can go take a look, and I've got a very good feedback. So my intention is to help people to break their invisible barrier. Each of us have something very unique and can be extremely successful. Like I said, you just should know what are your triggers, how to manage, and it's in a very, very simple English. I've not used any complex words. Extremely simple, and you can go to any chapter. It's not necessary that you have to read through my complete book. If you have a fear, you can go look at the fear chapter alone, and do that, whatever the suggestions there, and you would be able to complete it. So you don't need to have a super English understanding to read through my book. It's a conscious decision that I made to use a very simple language. I'm sure that you will find it extremely helpful and interesting, and please do take a look. And I'm happy to, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I can certainly help you on clarifying some of the questions.
Ma'am, if you feel free, you can share your number here, number and email ID. Thank you for sharing your insights with us, and we are grateful to you. We look forward for more sessions with you.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you everyone for joining in. Yeah, ma'am has given her contact details, so anyone has a specific questions can reach her out.
So you can WhatsApp me, and I also work, so I'll certainly respond to your WhatsApp, and we can fix a call to discuss.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just I'm having a look at the questions we are receiving at Google Forms. So if there is anything specific we can cover today. So there is one question: how to keep pullback thoughts on peaceful and growth path, asked by Dr. Hemant Chauhan.
Can you repeat that
answer
question,
this question now?
Yeah. Can you repeat that question, please?
The question is how to keep pullback thoughts on peaceful and growth path.
How to keep pullback thoughts, which is something with your mind says you can't do it, is it? Is that what it means?
Yes. I suppose so. It means that way.
Mr. Hemant is here.
I'm not sure if he has joined or not. Hemant Chauhanji, are you there? No, I suppose he's not there.
Okay. I think you may wonder, SBI is the same tool you can use. The pullback thoughts is what? It's saying that you can't do this. Now, why to what? That's another one. Please make a note. Why to what is another technique you can use along with SBI. Why can't I do this? No, what should I have to do to get this accomplished?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Unable to reduce my weight, and it will say that you can't do this, Usha. You can't do this, Usha. Now I have to reframe my word, saying, what can I do to reduce at least 500 grams in a day? Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
And Shuklaji is there, and he has asked, is there a way I can contribute or to be a part of Skilling on Saturdays? So definitely, sir, you can do share your details and your expertise with us, and we'll let you know. You can text on my personal number. Irani sir, any concluding thoughts?
It was really fantastic. And I saw that every participant was waiting till last. They're all listening to, madam. And she was very fluent. I like that, the way she was going. Fantastic, ma'am. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Your presentation skills are very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Let's close.
Thank you so much. You all have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a great day. Have a great
Today, everybody will have a great day. Madam, today, everybody will have a great day. And if they follow, tomorrow also.
Sure.
Thank you very much.